Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Fox Sports.
This afternoon, it all begins anew for the Tampa Bay Rays. Inside Tropicana Field, the Rays open the curtain on a brand new season. They will play host to the Baltimore Orioles. Familiar faces on this Rays ball club, and a few new ones as well. We'll get to meet them throughout the day and the season. Alex Cobb, there's Jeff Neiman as they greet the fans entering into Tropicana Field. The Rays will have their 8th consecutive sellout on opening day here this afternoon. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to opening day. With Brian Anderson, I'm Dwayne Stats. So good to have you with us. Well, the Rays have had 5 great seasons, arguably the story in baseball, if not all of sport. And this year, BA, they're thinking about one step more, to play that final game and win it. And they're going to be led by 2 homegrown products who at young ages are already very accomplished in Evan Longoria and David Price.
Absolutely. And the Rays' 2 superstars looking to lead their team back to October baseball after missing out last year. And in the Rays lineup, it starts with Evan Longoria. Now, this is a guy missed 88 games last year, where you could see the difference in the team's output when he was gone. But when you take his stats out over 162 games, you see what he is capable of. That kind of production, the 33 home runs, 116 RBIs, and it's not just even about those numbers, but it's about him being in the middle of that lineup and affecting all of those hitters around him, making them better. That should increase the offensive output this year. And then leading the way for the Rays pitching staff is the reigning American League Cy Young Award winner, David Price. 20 wins last year, tied for the American League lead, 2.56 earned run average, led the American League. But I love what David Price had to say. When he was asked about getting the nod here on opening day, he said, I don't want to be the best on the staff. I want to be the best in baseball.
Can you win a Cy Young Award and get better the next year? David Price says yes, he can, and his manager, Joe Madden, does not disagree. 2nd career opening day assignment for David Price. And there's Don Zimmer, the introduction to the Rays crew, to the sellout crowd here this afternoon. Zim, part of the throwing out the first pitch ceremony. More from the Trop in a moment. Sounds and smiles to baseball fans across the country. For the Tampa Bay Rays, they begin the 2013 campaign full of hope. Armed with the American League Cy Young Award winner David Price at the top of the rotation and record-breaking closer Fernando Rodney at the back end to slam the door. The middle of the order will be manned by franchise player Evan Longoria with his combination of power and Gold Glove defense. The goals for the Rays are clear: to reach the postseason, to hang another banner from the rafters, and to compete for a world championship. The 162-game journey starts now. From Tropicana Field, the Rays will be sending Cy Young Award winner David Price to the mound this afternoon as they square off against the Baltimore Orioles. Now let's go down to Todd Callis. Todd?
Dwayne, thank you so much. Second opening day start in the last 3 years for Price. Also opened against these Orioles 2 years ago to kick off the 2011 season. We asked number 14 if there were any extra nerves or adrenaline rush getting ready for today's start.
It's a good day. If you can't get butterflies, if you come out to a Major League Baseball game, more or less, opening day, there's probably something wrong with you. It is very special. It's the first day for us, and we're obviously at home, so we get to take the field first. We get to throw the first pitch, and then we get to set our own tone. So it's good. We enjoy it, and we're ready for it.
David Price, Cy Young Award winner in 2012. He named that Cy Young Award Clarence. Clarence might need a sibling after this year. We'll find out how David Price starts the 2013 campaign. Guys, back to you.
All right, Todd, thank you very much. Look forward to hearing from Todd throughout the afternoon here as the Rays take on the Baltimore Orioles. And there is David Price, 20 wins and 5 losses a year ago, en route to winning the Cy Young Award. He'll be facing this lineup for Baltimore. Nick Markakis leads off in right. Manny Machado at third base up in the second spot in front of Adam Jones. Matt Wieters will catch and hit cleanup. Chris Davis at first. J.J. Hardy dropped down to sixth, the shortstop. Nolan Reimold is in left. The DH is Steve Pearce. Brian Roberts back in this lineup. The veteran infielder hits ninth and plays second base.
Towing the rubber for the Tampa Bay Rays this afternoon, left-hander David Price, and you see the season numbers that allowed him to win that American League Cy Young Award. 20 wins, 31 starts, 2.56 earned run average, 2 complete games. 25 of the 31 starts were quality starts, holding opponents to a 2.26 average. Absolutely dominant, looking to pick up, continue that here in 2013. Let's take a look at today's Rays defense, brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source. In the outfield, left to right, Sam Full, Desmond Jennings, and Matt Joyce. Across the infield, third to first, Evan Longoria, Yunel Escobar, Ben Zobrist, and James Loney. Jose Molina will be behind the plate.
Well, there's Joe Madden. Joe off that 90 and 72 record a year ago, and in his 8th season as the Rays manager. What a story it has been for Madden. 585 victories to Madden's credit. And Buck Showalter engineering the turnaround for the Baltimore Orioles last year. They went from 69 and 93 to 93 and 69. And Showalter will have Nick Markakis to lead it off here against David Price. The Orioles did a lot of things right a year ago en route to those 93 wins, and they won the season series from the Rays, winning 10 of the 18 games played between these two teams. And for the Rays and the Orioles, the 2013 season underway, and it's a fastball, a called strike. Today's first pitch presented by Pinch-A-Penny.
Now, here and early in the ball game, it's all about being able to handle emotions, because everybody right now is amped up and excited, ready to go.
A one-hop shot out to Zobrist. Ben plays it to Loney. That's the first out of the game. Here's Manny Machado, and boy, what a difference he made for the Orioles a year ago when they saw him for the final couple months of the season. He's still only 20 years old. He won't be 21 until July. First pitch strike. One and one. BA, there are those who say Machado made all the difference for the Orioles, as great a season as they had when he came at the end of the year. He really solidified things for them.
Well, he's a tremendous defender, can handle the bat. He's a very heady player. You know, for being just 20 years old, his baseball IQ very, very high. And you can see right here with Buck Showalter opening day, not only putting him in the starting lineup, you know he's going to be there, but right up in the 2-hole, showing you the confidence that he has in him.
2-2. Price had gotten ahead of him on a nice changeup, and that was one of the pitches that really completed his arsenal and catapulted him into Cy Young contention and eventually winning that.
You remember this time last year we were talking about David Price and needing to have those secondary pitches continue to develop. Look where they are today.
Count's going to be full. I thought it was interesting, Price, and we referenced it just in passing in the open about Price. Can he get better after winning a Cy Young award? He says yes. He says he could be more efficient. Well, he was pretty efficient last year.
Look at his numbers. You know, over 200 innings pitched, over 200 strikeouts, and doing that, averaging under 16 pitches an inning. I mean, the gold standard, what you would love as a pitching coach, is 15 pitches per inning. He was at about 15.8 or so.
Well, that's 0.8 of a pitch away from being more efficient, apparently.
Well, I'm telling you, and that's why I go back to that quote. And I love the mindset that David Price brings to the mound and how he views his career and how he wants to progress as a pitcher. And he said, listen, I'm honored to be starting opening day, but I don't want to be the best guy in the staff. I want to be the best guy in the game. And that lets you know, always looking to achieve greatness.
Chop to Escobar from shortstop. Loney with the scoop over there. 2 gone. Couple of ground balls. So Escobar knew at shortstop. Loney knew at first. Getting our first official look at them in the regular season.
Well, right here, Escobar gets the nice hop, sets his feet, the throw a little bit low, but James Loney, also known for having a good glove over there at first base, gets that first scoop out of the way.
He's going to be fun to watch play first base, Loney.
Absolutely. Good defender. He's going to put the ball in play, doesn't give at-bats away.
Adam Jones. First pitch fastball in on the corner with a little something extra.
And you can see already here in the early going, David Price, this Baltimore lineup, very familiar with him, moving the ball around the zone, in and out, changing speeds.
2 outs with the bases empty. David Price, 27 years old. Adam Jones, 27. Shoots it to center. Jennings on the run, going to be over his head. Will one-hop the wall. Jones on his way to second with a double.
Well, that was just a fastball by David Price that leaked back out over the plate. He's trying to come in. You see where Jose Molina is set up, and this ball just tracks right back out over where Adam Jones can get full extension and really drive that ball deep off the wall in right center field.
Well, Jones, who hit 39 doubles last year, starts this season with a 2-base hit. Here's Matt Wieters. Wieters, over the last couple years, overall the best hitting catcher in the American League. He's put together some great numbers, and he does a great job behind the plate for Baltimore.
All around, he really has the game covered from the catching position.
High fly ball deep to left. Joyce will go to the wall after this one, and it is gone. A 2-run home run. And Wieters gives Baltimore an early lead. Well, there's some of that offense.
Yeah, and that was a changeup there by David Price that just once again stayed out over the plate. And Matt Wieters, he's 6'5". He's got a lot of leverage that he's able to put on that swing right there. A little bit out in front, but the ball not in a good location. And he just launches it to left center.
First pitch strike to Chris Davis. Wieters hit 23 last year, has 1 now. And here's Davis, who led this team in home runs with 33 a year ago. Price is quickly ahead of him. First 2 men out on ground balls in the double, followed by the home run.
Well, that's really your approach off David Price. You have to hit mistakes. He's just too good of a pitcher. And if he ends up leaving one out over the plate, you got to try to take advantage of it, which the Baltimore hitters Jones and Wieters was able to do. You're not going to get that many opportunities, and they've cashed in here in the first.
Cutter moving away off the plate to Davis. And that'll run the count all the way out. Top of the first, just underway. And now Price gives up the walk. He lost him after getting ahead.
And you very rarely see that from David Price. Quick 2 strikes there on Chris Davis, a left-handed hitter. And all of a sudden, a 2-out walk.
And J.J. Hardy. See Hardy with some pop in that bat, and so Buck Showalter, who for a lot of his time in a Baltimore uniform had had him hitting up in the lineup, dropped him down into more of a power spot.
Oh, the last couple of seasons leading major league shortstops in home runs. Not a big average guy, but he can hurt you with the long ball and the extra base hit.
And again, Price ahead in the count on this hitter, Hardy. Nothing wrong with his velocity here opening day. He has come out, he's hit 96 consistently. First pitch of the game was at 94. The other way to right. Sandfold takes care of it. Well, the Orioles score a couple. Double by Jones, and then the Wieters home run. Rays coming in to hit, down by 2. They'll have Desmond Jennings leading it off. He'll be followed by Sam Bold, and then Ben Zobrist hits third. Evan Longoria cleanup. Matt Joyce, then Escobar. James Loney hits seventh. Jose Molina eighth, and Kelly Johnson will DH.
Taking the mound this afternoon for the Baltimore Orioles, right-hander Jason Hamill. Just 20 starts last year, a season cut short by injury, but when he was out there, he was very good.
First pitch up a bit to Jennings, as you can see there. Desmond getting out of there. A 2-0 count to Jennings. Jennings, BA, had a very good spring, and you hear that about a lot of guys. Their numbers look good. But he really had a good spring from an approach point of view out of that leadoff spot.
And that's what you're looking for from Desmond Jennings because of all the different tools that he'll bring to the game. You look at his ability to get on base. When he gets on base, he scores runs. And so, the average was a little bit down last year. The on-base percentage around .314. Looking to improve on those numbers because he realizes, look, I get on base more, I steal more bags, I give better pitches to the guys behind me. More offensive production for the Rays.
Well, his on-base percentage this spring was .437, and you could see why he ran deep counts. We saw him get behind in one of the spring telecasts we did, 0-2. And then see 9 pitches and work the count full before the at-bat was complete. And it's a full count here.
You talk about that stuff, but you don't realize how difficult it is, because if you're going to continually, especially out of the leadoff spot or any spot for that matter, work deep counts, you have to be comfortable hitting with 2 strikes.
He lines it to left. Reimold back. He'll leap and make the backhanded catch, reaching up. Ball well hit, and Reimold got back there reaching up to grab it.
Yeah, that was a nice play by Nolan Reimold because that ball was stung by Jennings, and this you have the opportunity of making the catch as you make contact with the wall. He was able to get to it a little bit before reaching the left field wall, but a great play nonetheless.
Sam Fuld getting the start today in right field. First pitch strike from Hamill. Hamill getting his first opening day assignment with Baltimore against the Rays. He was talking earlier that he's come complete, full circle. He came up with the Rays and made his major league debut against the Orioles. And now his first opening day assignment for Baltimore here at the Trop today.
He became a full-time starter when he was out in Colorado with the Rockies, won 10 games a couple of times, then came to the Orioles last year and really started to put it together with the good sinker, but the ability to get the strikeout.
Roberts backpedals. Markakis comes in from right. 2 gone.
Well, let's take a quick look here at the Oriole defense as it lines up in the outfield left to right. Nolan Reimold, Adam Jones, and Nick Markakis across the infield third to first. Manny Machado, J.J. Hardy, Brian Roberts, and Chris Davis. Matt Wieters will be behind the plate.
Now Ben Zobrist. And a base hit up the middle. Well, Zobrist loves the fastball. He got one there and has a single.
Well, where Jason Hamill gets into trouble is when the ball's elevated. He's got a very good sinker. When that is working its way down, he's going to get the ground ball. That one stayed up and flat. Zobrist was able to shoot it right up the middle and give Evan a chance here with 2 outs.
Well, he makes all the difference in this Rays lineup. Been missing 85 games last year, and That was a major loss for the Rays.
You just look at the stats. Look at the numbers. That one stat with him in the lineup and without. 2 games under with him out of the lineup. 20 games over with him in the lineup. And almost a run per game more production.
Well, the last time he saw these Baltimore Orioles was on the final day of the regular season last year here. And he had 3 home runs that day.
Pick up where he left off.
That's what the Rays are hoping right now. Ground ball short. Hardy the short way to Roberts for the force. We're at the end of an inning. 2-0 Baltimore. Sun Sports is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. And the Tampa Bay Times. Amazing stories only in the Tampa Bay Times. Full house at Tropicana Field to watch the opening game of the new season. David Price on the hill facing Nolan Reimold. Reimold made that nice catch on the line drive hit by Jennings in the bottom of the first. Price touched for that home run in the first by Wieters. He did not allow a home run in the first inning at all last year. In fact, he only gave up 16 home runs in 211 innings last year.
A great job of keeping the ball in the ballpark, and really that could be, you know, opening day jitters. Like I said, early on, managing your emotions. You're a little bit amped up. You're letting a fastball go out over the plate, double, you know, then the home run. But you know, hopefully at this point you've calmed down, start making your pitches.
And he has Reimold on strikes. Breaking pitch. First strikeout for Price. Nope, that's only strike 2. Or it's 2-2 now. Just to help him out a little bit.
You're just
there.
one pitch behind. Here it comes. I'll tell you what, that was a good curveball there by David Price. And you can see again.
You know, Madden thought it was a strikeout as well. He's asking John Hirschbeck about that. He thought the count was 1-2. And a ground ball base hit. So a leadoff single.
You see what David Price did last year. The 31 starts, 25 quality, and the rank in the American League. The wins tied with Jared Weaver. ERA #1, strikeouts. Dominant year by David Price.
Here's Steve Pearce. One and 0. Reimold, the runner. He came into the game just 2 of 18 against Price. This one by him, by Pearce. 1 and 1.
Well, Pearce could tell you an awful lot about what he was trying to do with that swing right there. That hip was leaking down the third base line, really yanked himself out of there trying to get to that fastball up and away. That's where, as a pitcher, you have to be able to read those hitters and let you know what they're trying to do.
So it's a 2-1 count. That squares it out of play. Showalter's Orioles a year ago were pretty evenly matched in terms of success at home and on the road. 93 wins. They had 47 wins at home and 46 on the road. And you talk about managing. We've got 2 guys here, Joe Madden, who had 151 different lineups, and Baltimore made 178 roster moves last year. They used 52 different players. That's a strike call. Pearce caught looking on the corner.
Pearce looking to cover the plate, put the ball in play, give himself a chance, and David Price rifles that fastball on the inner half. Boy, catches him looking and leaning.
One out with a runner at first. Here's Brian Roberts. Roberts, who has been beset by all kinds of injury and misfortune, and now at 35 trying to get back into this everyday lineup.
And if he's able to stay healthy for the majority of the year, if not all the year, that would be a big boost for this Oriole lineup.
Price has him down 0-2.
This is a guy, switch hitter. He will work at bats. He will work counts from both sides of the plate. And then once he gets on base, very, very dangerous. Fearless out on the base paths. Very good base runner. Will steal against anybody at any time.
And now move to first. Throw down to second. Reimold picked off first. Technically a caught stealing, with Zobrist putting the tag on him.
I'll tell you what a nice play by James Loney, coming off of first base to meet that ball on the way over, and then realizing that he was going to have to rifle it down to second. Cut the distance and then air it out. Quick short throw. They get him.
Roberts fighting off that pitch right there, down 0-2 with a little something extra on it, and he got enough to stay alive. Back to Roberts' injuries. Here's a guy, because of injuries, he has lost really the better part of the last 3 years. He's played only 115 games spread over the last 3 years. Zobrist takes care of Roberts. We're headed into the bottom of the second inning. It's still a 2-0 ball game, Baltimore.
About it and brings a new start to the season, and you know, everybody's excited. Everybody's excited to get underway and get things going.
The local product, Matt Joyce from Armwood High School, said he used to watch opening day on TV back when they were the Devil Rays. He said he never remembers being in the crowd for an opening day, but he was certainly here in the crowd for other games during the course of the season when he was a kid. Guys, back to you.
He goes after the first pitch against the shift, and that's Hardy, who was on the left side of the infield alone, ranging into foul territory to take care of that.
J.J. Hardy had to cover some ground there. No help. Manny Machado pulled out into short right field. One pitch, one out.
Well, here's Yunel Escobar, and a guy the Rays think will help them on both sides of the baseball with the bat and with the glove.
Well, Yunel Escobar gets brought into this ball club. You solidify the left side of your infield defense by Evan Longoria at third, Escobar at short. Then you hope that bat can come alive. He's got a lot of potential.
Machado has plenty of time and makes the play. 2 gone. Well, today's broadcast is on AFN, the Armed Forces Network, broadcasting to the U.S. Armed Forces serving in 175 countries and aboard ships at sea. They're watching around the world in Iraq, Germany, Italy, Southwest Asia, South Korea, and Japan. We welcome and salute each and one of you and look forward to your safe return home. Another new face in this Rays lineup is James Loney. See that number 249 last year combined with the Dodgers and the Red Sox, and he, like Escobar a year ago, really underachieved offensively. So the Rays look for more than what those numbers would reflect right there with the bat.
Well, the career average much higher than that 249. He's not going to be a big power guy, has more of an inside out swing, but he puts the ball in play, and for a Rays lineup that led everybody in strikeouts last year, he's going to help out in that area, put the ball in play, give you a chance.
And in a mix and match lineup that Joe Madden likes to run out there, he's better than a 290 lifetime hitter against right-handed pitching. In fact, he's 9 out of 29 against Hamill, 310 with 3 home runs in his career off this right-hander. There's that lineup breakout that we mentioned earlier for Madden. 151 different lineups. Loney out on strikes. Chased the fastball up. We're at the end of 2-0 Baltimore. Two 2-0 Baltimore through 2. Let's welcome in Kelly Nash, the newest member of our crew, and this is the first official welcome in the regular season. Kelly?
That's right. Thanks, Dwayne. You know what I just realized? This is the first year I've actually worked an opening day. I'm not playing hooky from work. I'm not playing hooky from school. I'm actually here working. It's a great feeling. Now, fans watching at home, if you have Twitter, find me, Sun Sports Rays. Tweet me questions for the players, questions for our announcers. I'll try to get you some answers. Now, of course, a lot of players on the Rays team are already on Twitter. Now, Evan Longoria, he had this tweet early in the morning. Man, I can't believe it's opening day already. Excited to see all the fans. Let's have a great 2013. And guys, no better way to kick off this season than a sold-out crowd here at the Tropicana today.
All right, Kelly, thank you very much. That first pitch lined a fastball off the bat of Markakis right to Escobar.
Well, second time through the lineup, not wasting a whole lot of time. Get a pitch out over the plate. Like I said before, David Price, such a talented pitcher. You're not going to get too many opportunities at pitches you feel like you can drive. Markakis took a shot there, but Rays turned it into an out.
Eddie Machado takes a strike. Price gave up 2 in the first on the home run by Wieters. That's headed through the middle. Machado has a base hit.
That was just well placed by Manny Machado. He got a breaking ball that stayed elevated. See where this ball ends up. Not quite the depth that David wanted. Machado was able to hammer that ball and squeeze it by Yunel Escobar and into center field.
Adam Jones.
You could really see David Price's reaction after that ball was able to get out into center field. Not very happy with himself right now in his early in the game command of his pitches.
And he started Jones here with a changeup and missed. Jones hit a fastball for a double, and now takes this pitch into right, a fastball for a base hit. And Machado stops at second.
Well, that was a nice piece of hitting there by Adam Jones. This is a pitch, if you try to pull it, you're going to fall right into David Price's trap. He just lets that ball travel. And quick with the hands and able to shoot that ball out into right field. The Orioles have a little something going here in the third.
Yeah, Wieters will be the hitter. The difference in the game right now, that's Molina and Escobar out there with Price.
The home run by Wieters was on a changeup. Again with that location, David Price not very happy with it. Wieters with that extension, that big 6'5" frame, is able to lift it for a 2-run homer.
Well, men on base with 1 out.
This is where you got to really bear down and concentrate on your spots. Pick the pitch that you want to throw and really concentrate on the location.
Upstairs, Wieters a switch hitter. Better contact and better for an average from the left side. More pop from the right side.
And can do damage on balls up in the zone. The elevated fastball can get to it. Well, you remember that when Matt Moore was making his debut 2 seasons ago, 95-mile-an-hour fastball led her high, and Wieters was able to get on top of it. So he is able to get those arms extended and hammer some pretty good fastballs velocity-wise.
Well, that foul ball off the mask of Molina, so he's waiting for those bells to stop ringing and those birdies to stop circling. So he's feeling a little better now.
Well, and get used to that, because Jose Molina does take a beating behind the plate. I mean, this guy finds his way into the path of more foul tips. Just about any catcher you'll find.
There's a strike into Wieters. 1-2. One out. Machado's at second and Jones is on first.
Be interesting to see what David Price does here in a 2-2 count. Got the fastball away for strike 2, then came with the fastball in there off the plate. See if he tries to go back out away and maybe get Wieters reaching. Try to get yourself a double play ball.
Wieters fouls this one away, back to the right.
Well, he did try to go back out away, but that was a backdoor cutter that he went with after the fastball in. Backdoor cutter, you'll see the subtle movement as it comes back towards the plate. Very fortunate there, because Wieters had a pretty good swing at it.
Remains 2-2. Well, if you're going to sit there, or actually anywhere, you should be bringing your glove to the ballpark.
Yes. Never know. Although it would be a lot more effective if it was on your hand.
Sometimes you don't have time to pick it up, get it on your hand, and then make the play.
That ball's already whistled right by you.
Down to third, foul. So Price and Wieters having a little battle here.
Yes, they do, and really it's been a battle with David Price and this entire Oriole lineup. They have really forced him, and maybe it was David Price's game plan coming in, but they have seen all of his pitches in just about any spot that you could throw him. Changeups, cutters away, cutters backdoor, curveballs, fastballs to both sides of the plate, really making David work.
And now full count. Hey, they've got him on now, and boy, do they. It's a double-fisted defense. We'll see Joe Madden employ that, I'm sure, at some point with all of his shifts and defensive alignments. Put a glove on each hand.
Doesn't have to make a throw from there.
Runners go. Pitch is skied foul. That's going to be out of play. Well, I hope somebody had a glove down there.
And Matt Wieters just continues to battle. And you just look at this at bat, a microcosm of the game so far. He's seen backdoor cutters, fastballs to both sides, a couple of curveballs. He just continues to hang in there. Be a lot for David's confidence right now to make one nasty pitch right here. A nice sinker down and away. Get himself a ground ball double play. Get out of this inning.
Runners gone. A ground ball foul again outside of third. So Wieters with an extended at bat, 10 pitches in this at bat. And that's similar to what happened in the first. Price got those 2 outs. He had bases empty, 2 outs before the double by Jones and the home run by Wieters, and then a walk followed. Price wound up making 23 pitches in the first inning. 3-2 again. And it's fouled once more.
This lineup will grind you. You've got Brian Roberts sitting in that 9 hole, a lot of experience ahead of him. This is a lineup that's played together. Jim Presley, the hitting coach, doing this for a long time. And Buck Showalter, you were talking about the managers between Buck and Joe Madden. They always will come to the game with their team well prepared for the opposition. You never have to worry about that.
More time foul. A dozen pitches in this at bat. Price and Wieters. Price not only getting a workout, but so are Jones and Machado. They've been breaking on these 3-2 pitches with 1 out. And how about this battle?
I'd like to see one of those yellow dots down and away. Get the result that you want. A heck of a battle. That was a nice idea there by David Price. You made mention of Machado taking off there from second base. Take a chance that maybe he gets a little lazy mentally. Doesn't really give the right read and takes off and get yourself an easy out there.
They're on the move again, and there's ball 4. That loads the bases. 13 pitches leading to the walk.
Trying to come in with the fastball. David just yanked this one down and in. It was an easy read for Matt Wieters. A ball out of the hand. That's going to bring Jim Hickey out to the mound. More than anything, just to give David Price a breather, because you realize this part of the game, it's only the 3rd inning, but you're already down 2 runs. Orioles have the bases loaded. Going to minimize the damage here.
Fortunately for Price, he made only 5 pitches to the first 3 hitters collectively in this inning before running into that battle with Wieters and giving up the walk on the 13 pitch at bat. Now it's Chris Davis.
First baseman, Chris Davis.
Well, Davis walked in the first. And a first pitch strike. Really impressive career numbers with the bases loaded. It's 1-1. And with your ace out there, the Rays, BA, hoping to limit the pitch count, have him pitch deep into this opening game.
Well, you're definitely thinking with David Price out there that your bullpen is not going to be used very much. And that's what's going to be interesting to see as this season unfolds with the loss of James Shields and the innings that he takes with him. You know, David Price is going to do his thing, but then you've got, you know, Alex Cobb, Matt Moore, Jeremy Hellickson, the kids looking to take that next step, become a little bit more efficient to pitch deeper in the games, because the last thing you want is an overtaxed bullpen come July or August. Part of the reason why Roberto Hernandez has been put into the rotation in the position that he is.
Yeah, they're thinking and hoping that they will get a good number of innings from him.
And more than capable. Big-bodied guy, keeps the ball on the ground. He's got a chance to do that.
Chop up the middle. Escobar steps on the bag and fires to first to get the double play. So out of all that, it turns out to be just a 17-pitch inning. Still 2-0 Baltimore.
The Rays find themselves trailing the Orioles 2-0. Today's game and all season long, Tires Plus will donate $100 to Pediatric Cancer Foundation for every Tampa Bay Rays home run televised on Sun Sports.
Two-0 ball game. Rays down. Baltimore scoring both runs in the first on the Matt Wieters home run. David Price getting out at the top of this inning on the double play ball. And here's Molina to face Jason Hamill. Kelly Johnson will follow and then back around to the top of the order. Hardy from shortstop. That's one away.
Well, the Rays are ready for another exciting season here in 2013, and you can experience it with Rays season tickets to get the best seats, biggest savings, and exclusive benefits throughout the year. There are a variety of plans to choose from with flexible payment options available.
So here's Kelly Johnson. They have the shift on. You can see Johnson shorten up there. So the overshift with Johnson batting against Hamill. Well, they might want Johnson bunting against Hamill. 6 of 20 off him with a home run. And pops it up. It's Davis at first. 2 gone.
And that was, you talk about big league pop-up, that old tired cliche, but that was a pitch out over the plate. Kelly Johnson, I guarantee, wishes that he had another shot at. He just got around that baseball a little bit and hit it a mile high.
Well, 2 quick outs now on just 5 pitches. So if Desmond Jennings has ever worked the deep count, this would be the time for it.
You'd like to give David Price a little bit of a breather after having to work so hard the previous inning. Maybe not in total pitches, but after that at bat against Wieters.
1-0. That 13th pitch at bat for Wieters. And he actually wound up making 22 pitches in that inning, 60 through the first 3. Fly ball hit high back into left. Reimold to the track and has room. So Jennings is out number 3. We're through 3, 2-0 Baltimore. On Sun Sports is brought to you by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Visit your Honda dealer for a great lease and finance deals on fuel-efficient Hondas. And by Checkers. Feast on. Inside Tropicana Field, opening day. We go to the 4th. J.J. Hardy all set to lead off for Baltimore. David Price has had to throw a lot of pitches early in this game. It's a popper on the first pitch. Loney to the stands, but it's out of play. Well, Loney might have been able to reach in right there, and the way things go, you'd love to see that out recorded on one pitch.
Well, right there in the first row, and the fan getting booed here in Tropicana Field. You can see as Loney heads over to the short wall. The fan right there.
Oh, that's a fair ball beyond the bullpen mound. Hardy's on his way to second with a stand-up double.
Well, J.J. Hardy got a cutter there and was able to get the barrel of the bat to the ball and keep it fair. Ball just stayed out over the plate just enough for Hardy to slam it down the third base line.
James Hoy, the umpire on the call. Hardy, who had 30 doubles last year, has one in this game. Here's Nolan Reimold. 6 Baltimore hits now. They've had 6 hits and 2 walks. So a lot of base runners early so far, just the 2 runs on Wieder's home run.
Well, David Price's command is not where he would like it, not where we'd normally see it. Baltimore hitters have taken advantage of it thus far.
1-2.
And you can see what David Price is trying to do in this at bat to Nolan Reinhold is keep the ball in close to him. He doesn't want to go down and away, let Reinhold shoot one over to the right side, move the runner up. Here with nobody out, trying to keep the ball close to him, crowd him, even pick up the strikeout, maybe a little jam pop-up.
2-2. That's a called 3rd strike on Reinhold. First out, 1 on 1 out. Let's check in with Kelly again. Kelly?
Hey guys, I'm right here in District K9. It's a brand new seating area in honor of David Price. You know, he was so special, he had to have his own section. Now, it's not for canines, but it was named in honor of Price's dog, Astro. As you can see, fans, with each ticket, they get this awesome orange shirt that I'm rocking right now. They also get a K card, as you see right next to me. So come out. All of David Price's starts right here, section 132 to 134. You can find it on RaysBaseball.com. Get your tickets. Support your reigning Cy Young Award winner, David Price.
Well, he's got a chance to chalk up a lot of strikeouts again this year. He had over 200 last year, I think 205, and the year before more than that, 218. And so with last year's Cy Young Award, and I guess at the urging of Astro, they formed that new K9 section. Long but foul. And it's an 0-2 count to Steve Pearce.
Well, you remember the first at bat with Pearce really opening up that hip early in the count, trying to yank the ball. It's exactly what he's still doing here. Now maybe with 2 strikes. Last time David was able to close him out with a fastball in, get him leaning a little bit. But certainly early in the count, Pearce is looking to do damage.
And he's pulling this one deep foul. Both these clubs, wouldn't you say, BA, have the same approach because their bullpens have been so good. Jump out, get a lead, hold it, and then turn it over to a bullpen that doesn't give up much.
And you've seen that in the past with successful teams. You get nervous playing them because they're going to play a 6 or 7 inning game. That's it. It's like playing high school again. You got the lead after 7. This Baltimore Oriole club last year was 74-0.
Just a bit wide. 1-2. So you've got 2 teams here fighting to grab the early lead and then hang on to it. So far, it's been Baltimore.
Pretty good pitch here by David Price. He comes with that cutter back door. Just stayed off the plate. No chase by Pearce.
You know, you're talking about how great that bullpen was for Baltimore, and the Rays leading after 7 were 75-3. Pearce out on strikes. 3rd strikeout, the first swinging. A little action down in the K9 section.
Coming off of a great curveball there by David, down and in.
Two outs now in the inning. And here is Brian Roberts. Roberts grounded out his first time, and there's a first pitch strike.
I think that's what's going to make the American League East race this year so exciting, are the great bullpens within the division. And every team's going to have a similar philosophy about not wanting to see the back end of the other team's bullpen.
Diving stop. The throw by Longoria. One hops and picked over there by Loney. Nice play on both sides, as it turns out. Longoria to Loney. He'll retire the side, leave a man at second base. 2-0 Baltimore. The Rays are down 2-0.
Well, and it could have been 3-0. Great play here. J.J. Hardy out at second base, and a nice dive there by Evan. He finds it with the bare hand, able to throw from the knees and get enough on it to get to James Loney. Ranging to his left. Not a clean field, but watch quick with the hand. No time to spare. Got to throw it from there.
Sam Poole runs up and takes the breaking ball for a strike. Thought occurred to me that with Longoria, wherever he is, he's going to make a good throw when he's healthy. So it doesn't make any difference. He could be like flat on his back and he'd make a good throw somewhere.
He does. I'm telling you, in all the years that I've seen him down there at third base, I've seen him make one bad feed. Really, that's it. The guy's amazing with his able to pinpoint, know where he's going with the baseball.
Fold Zobrist and then Longoria in this inning against Jason Hamill.
Oh, and part of his routine, when you see him in pregame, early work, he'll go down to third base and field ground balls from his knees. Just sit on his knees and field ground balls.
2-2. You know, I believe that part of that is that, you know, he was not a superstar in high school. I mean, no one really wanted him. And he wound up going to college and matured there. And so he really had to bust it, had to work hard. And I think that's a very integral part of scouting a player you're going to draft.
You combine that with growing into your body, your skill set becomes a little bit more enhanced, and you continue with that work ethic. You're absolutely right. It's why he's taken the steps that he has.
Call third strike to Sam Poole. Right now, let's check in with Todd Callis. Speaking of high draft picks.
Yeah, speaking of the scouting section, that's where we are right now, Dwayne, with the Rays senior advisor, Don Zimmer. 65th year in the game of baseball. Zim, you and your son, Tom, were out there on the mound before the game. That had to be a special moment throwing out that first pitch.
Yes, it was. You've got to be awful lucky to be out that 65 years in the game.
You had Evan Longoria as your catcher, and then right before Tom was ready to throw the pitch, the rest of the team comes out of the dugout. Were you expecting that?
No. Where'd they come from? I don't know what happened.
It was quite a moment as Ben Zobrist takes a called strike 1-1. Zim, you've been around this game as we mentioned, 65 years. The Rays have been lucky to have you more recently. What do you think about this year's squad? What do you like about this team?
Well, I didn't get to see too much of them this spring because I couldn't get down to Port Charlotte. But if we pitch good, we'll be in the race. And that's what it's going to amount to. 5 or 6 teams could win the division.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. And we're watching the video now of you and Tom and all the players gathering around afterwards. It's 1-2 to Ben Zobrist. Have you ever seen or can you remember the American League East like this, where all 5 teams were this closely bunched?
No, this is the most. Usually it's 2 teams or maybe 3 teams, but there's 5 teams, I guess. Anybody could win. Whoever pitches the best is going to win.
Sam, it's always a pleasure, and it's our honor to be a part of being with you here on this day for the ceremonial first pitch. 65 years and counting. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you, Todd. Thank you.
All right, guys, back to you.
All right. Thank you very much, Todd. Don Zimmer down there. You know, Don, in all those years, celebrated opening day a couple of times with opening day home runs, and off 2 great pitchers. One off Robin Roberts and the other one off the late Don Drysdale.
I'll tell you what, you sit around and listen to Don Zimmer tell baseball stories.
There's a shot deep to right by Zobrist. That ball is gone. Zobrist lines it into the seats and right. So an opening day home run for Ben Zobrist on that topic.
Ben Zobrist was able to get a hanger, find its way right to the barrel. Boy, look at that. Compact, flat swing of Ben Zobrist, and he launches that ball, no doubt about it. Got out of here in a hurry.
So Zobrist owns the first home run of the year for the Rays. Cuts the deficit in half. 1-0 the count to Longoria. Well, Zobrist continues to be not one of the most underrated and perhaps under-recognized players in the major leagues. Well, Longoria gets under this one. Jones in center. That's the second out.
I couldn't agree more. When you look at what Ben Zobrist brings to a franchise, to a clubhouse, you know, great guy in the clubhouse. He's a switch hitter. Can play anywhere. You know, his second base last year, finished the season out at shortstop. There was talk that maybe you had solved your shortstop issues with Ben Zobrist. Can play in the outfield. He's going to take walks. Good eye at the plate. Very well-rounded baseball player that any team would be fortunate to have on their roster.
You know, that versatility by Zobrist is great in many ways, and one is for the manager, Joe Madden, because he can play him in all those positions, and he's so good. The other one, it's great for Andrew Friedman, because now Friedman, this last offseason, goes in knowing that Zobrist can play right field, second, could play short.
Right.
That gives him some options on who's available, who's the best deal, and who's the best player. There's a shot off the bat of Joyce. High back into right, but not quite to the track. And Joyce is out number 3. So the Rays going to run back here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Ben Zobrist connects, and now it's 2-1 Baltimore. Tropicana Field. Fun at the old ballpark right there. Time now for the Just for Men Auto Stop foolproof stat. And this is about as foolproof as you can get. Fernando Rodney, a record-setting season out of the bullpen. 48 of 50 in the save department with an earned run mark of 0.60. How did the opposition hit 167 against him?
Typo.
Here he is. Fernando Rodney down there in the bullpen. First pitch to the leadoff man, Nick Markakis, is a strike. Well, what the Rays are hoping and what the Orioles might be fearing now is that they've missed some opportunities in the early stages of this game. And let's see, Price can get 2, maybe 3 more innings. They'd like him to be around 100 pitches, and he was at 75 through 4. So he's going to have some efficient innings here.
Dwayne, I think it's scary sometimes that we actually share the same brain, because when that ball got hit out of the ballpark by Ben Zobrist, I thought, wow, for a 2-1 game, it certainly feels that the Baltimore Orioles should have a much larger lead.
Yep. 1-2. And I agree with you. That's why they try to keep us separated most of the time, because otherwise it could be dangerous.
That's why there's an off season.
To ourselves and others. Count 2-2. Well, David Price here against Jason Hamill. There they are. You talk about 2 dangerous looking characters. You got them right there.
Yes. One of many shots.
Ball right side. Zobrist makes the play. And so it's 1 away here in the 5th. Well, so far a 1-run game. BA, what do you see?
Well, I've seen David Price in the early going not have the kind of command that he would want, but he has battled through, made pitches when he's needed to, and kept this at a 2-1 deficit. That could be a shot in the arm. David Price has a couple efficient innings, gets deep into the game, and allows that Rays offense to chip away and look to take the lead.
And the Rays are going to have to get somebody besides Ben Zobrist hot in the lineup. Machado fouls it. The Rays have a run on 2 hits, and Zobrist is 2 for 2. Everybody else 0 for 12.
Well, yeah, and you talk about Ben and what he brings to that lineup. Jason Hamill's been pretty tough on the other side.
1-1 the count. Down to third. Longoria turns and throws. Out number 2.
Well, you don't realize how tough a play that is. You know, you look at a high hop, glove side, not that tough a play. That is a very difficult play. This ball was almost by him. Watch him have to range over and then read that ball. Actually does catch it behind him. And then you got to spin and make the throw. And I don't know, but how about that? Right off the Ray, or the R in Rays on Loney's chest.
Well, 2 gold gloves for Longoria. That's why. Comes Adam Jones. And he comes up with this one, throws from the seat of his pants, and he gets him. Great play again by Evan Longoria. Back-to-back outstanding plays. He can throw it to any base from any position at any time, and here's proof of that to retire the Orioles in the 5th. defensively and then some with this exhibition in the top of the inning.
Continues to amaze. This one, he's got to go down 4, rolls over, throws it, sitting down. How about this? Don't try this at home.
That's where all that yoga comes in handy. First pitch to Escobar.
I'm partial to Pilates, but I get what you're saying.
There you go. 1-0 down the count. Wow. What a defensive exhibition here. Now here's Machado with a nice pickup at third. And the throw. Escobar is out of there. Bottom of the 5th. Again, let's call upon Todd Callis. Todd?
Dwayne, thank you very much for the Twitter poll, the first one of the year. We ask you, where do you think the Rays are going to end up at the end of the season? Hashtag TB1 if you think they're going to win the AL East. Hashtag TB2 if you think they're going to be the AL wildcard team. Hashtag TB3, one of the 2 AL wildcard teams. Hashtag TB3 if you think they'll be above 500 but miss the playoffs. And hashtag TB4 if you think they're going to be below 500. Now, we're down here with the Fox Sports Florida Sun Sports sponsors and also this fly ball in the left center field that Adam Jones takes care of for out number 2 with James Loney. And look who we ran into, the lovely Annie Lee and Jordana. How you ladies been? Everything good?
Very, very good. We're so excited. Rays baseball is finally officially starting today, and we're so happy to be here.
Facebook and Twitter, you guys are all over it, right?
We are. You can find us on Facebook at Fox Sports Florida Girls and Twitter at FSFlorida_girls.
You guys will be here for a few games this year?
Absolutely, and make sure to keep in touch with us. We'll online, and we will tell you when we'll be here next.
It's been quite a trek for this group down here. They started out in South Florida, ran into a little issue on Alligator Alley, so it took them a while to get here. Now you've got Rays baseball and right to the Lightning game tonight?
Yes, we have a fun-filled day, and we're really excited to be here.
Fox Sports Florida Girls. Follow them on Twitter. Jordana and Annie Lee and Todd. Back to you guys.
All right, Todd. Thank you. And again, Todd, the hardest working man in show business.
He's in a pretty good position down there.
1-1 to count to Molina. It's a 3-1 count. Pop to the right side for Roberts. And the Rays are up and down in order. We're through 5 innings. 2-1 Baltimore. Baltimore got 2 in the first when Matt Wieters unloaded a home run and a changeup out with Adam Jones aboard. Rays facing Jason Hamill. Hamill been in charge with the exception of the Ben Zobrist at bats. Ben, who singled in the first, homered in the fourth, lining this one into the seats in right to make it 2-1, and that's where we are at the end of 5. David Price and Jason Hamill still around here on opening day. Full house at Tropicana Field, and Price had a very quick 5th inning, just 9 pitches. And here's Matt Wieters to open the 6th.
That's exactly what David Price needed. I'll tell you what, the sign of a tremendous pitcher, tremendous competitor. Struggling early with the command, but here he finds himself in the 6th inning, having given up just the 2 runs.
Behind Wieters, Davis, and Hardy, the middle of Buck Showalter's lineup here in inning 6. Liner toward right center. Cole trying to cut it off, but it'll roll to the wall. Wieters on for the 3rd time with a double this time.
Matt Wieters has seen a lot of pitches from David Price. You go back to his last at bat, 13 pitch walk. He gets this ball elevated away from him. David wants this ball down. It stays up around the belt. All he's got to do is get the bat head out there, line that ball into right field in the way that the Rays were positioned defensively. That ball's able to roll all the way to the wall.
So a threat. Leadoff double. Now Chris Davis is the hitter. Powered by Davis for a strike. The Orioles have had some men on base. 1 out of 5 with men in scoring position today. And that hit was the Wieters home run with Jones at second in the first. Wieters at second in the 6th inning.
That was one area of the game last year where David Price was able to limit damage. Remember a couple of years ago where he started to struggle a little bit with runners in scoring position. Last year, a much better job making sure that mechanics stayed in line. He was consistent with his release point, his delivery, and the numbers reflected that.
He evens the count at 2-2.
And that was a high quality fastball there, knee high, right on the outside corner. And now you've given yourself a chance here to go for the strikeout. Try to pick up that out without the runner being able to move up.
Might have done a nice job by Molina helping him on that pitch right there.
That's why the Rays love him back there.
And he gets him looking. Mid-90s fastball. Big strikeout for Price.
Well, why not? You got that pitch before. A nice job by Molina in framing that pitch back towards the plate. Go out there again. You see how Molina angles himself and then freezes that ball right there. Gives John Hirschbeck a good look at it. And how about that?
And those 4th and 5th pitches were called strikes.
Remember, John Hirschbeck has been known to widen that thing out. Sometimes that's knowing that about an umpire to your benefit.
Hardy takes a strike. Hardy's hit was a leadoff double in the 4th. Back to first, headed toward the stands. Loney's over there, but no chance. Rays and the Orioles opening the 2013 season. 16th opener for the Rays. And they've seen the Orioles a lot. Third time in the last 4 years. And the 5th time in Joe Maddon's 8 seasons as the Rays skipper they've opened against Baltimore. So apparently when they put together the schedules, they just start, they go, well, the Rays will play the Orioles somewhere, and then they'll make out the rest of the schedule.
Got to start somewhere.
Line drive going to be caught by Escobar. So after the double, a strikeout and a line out. 2 gone.
See where Escobar is. That breaking ball. Hardy does a nice job of staying down and on that pitch. Escobar's positioned better.
Nolan Reimold, that base hit came in the 2nd inning, and he was picked off by David Price on a 1-3-4 play. Down there by Bobby Dickerson, the third base coach. He spent 20 years in the minor leagues as a coach and a manager, and finally gets an opportunity to come to the big leagues as the Orioles third base coach.
And in a position of great responsibility over there at third base.
A 1-strike count.
You know, that's part of the game we need to send Todd Callis on, and inside the Rays third base coach, and the responsibilities that go into it. How you're watching outfielders, you're looking at where they're playing, defensive alignments, judging the speed of your runner out there at second base, the speed of the ball off the bat, having to make snap judgments on whether to send a guy or not. Obviously, in this position, 2 outs, you're going to send him more than likely. Not an easy position to coach.
Price has made 97 pitches. You saw Jamie Wright start to loosen, limber up in the bullpen down the right field line. Plan called for 100 pitches. They could have pushed him a little bit more, but somewhere around 100 is what the thinking is for Price in his first start of the year.
And that's coming into the start, not knowing what kind of stress level those 100 pitches are going to be. And for the most part, David Price has had a lot of high-stress pitches. So he is absolutely nearing the end of his day, but just continues to battle, keep his team in the game. And they want to make sure they get this 0-2 pitch right.
One and 2. Breaking pitch taken.
A nice idea there. Keep it down below the zone. You try to get the swing over the top of it, but that pitch sets up many others. You just slowed him down a little bit. You can speed him back up here with a good fastball.
It's fouled back with a fastball in the mid-90s. So the 99th pitch of the day in at 95 from Price.
You still get that adrenaline pumping, and you saw that ball ate Nolan Reimold up. After that curveball at 78, he comes right back with 95. Reimold does a nice job to fight it off, but now he's got to be wondering what's next.
And it's lifted into short right. Got the hard stuff. Fold puts it away. Leadoff double, and a man stranded. Bottom of the 6th. 2-1 Baltimore. Brought to you by H.H. Gregg. 2 runs, 7 hits for Baltimore. A run, 2 hits for the Rays. No errors in this game. And a couple outstanding defensive plays by Evan Longoria behind David Price, who, as he sits in the dugout, has made 100 pitches. And that was pretty much the game plan. 6 innings covering 100 pitches. Kelly Johnson leads off the bottom of the 6th against Hamill. Hamill's breaking ball stayed up that time. Didn't do much. 1-0.
This is where the Rays offense needs to start chipping away here at Jason Hamill. Kelly Johnson, then you roll over the top of the lineup for the 3rd time.
He's back with another breaking pitch for ball 2.
Well, the first 3 pitches of this at bat here, you've had 2 rolling breaking balls and then a fastball that he was able to get by Kelly Johnson, but it didn't have that normal sink that you see from Hamill.
Now it's 3-1.
And that one stayed up and flat also. He doesn't have a whole lot of pitches, just sitting right around the 60 mark. Very efficient thus far.
And a walk to lead off the inning. Rays have a man aboard.
Well, David Price's stellar 2012 season earned him the American League Cy Young Award. Watch him defend his title throughout the season. And this Saturday, April the 6th, the first 20,000 fans will receive a David Price Cy Young figurine presented by the Tampa Bay Times.
We're going to go to the top of the order. Desmond Jennings hit the ball very hard his first time. Back into left, and then he sent Primo to the warning track in left with a fly ball in the 3rd. The pitch is down. Johnson at first on the walk. Rays have 2 hits and a walk against Jason Hamill. You know, Hamill has come out here in the 6th inning almost looking like a guy who'd been sitting in the dugout. His team had been at bat for about 20 or 30 minutes. All of a sudden it's deserted him, it would appear.
Yeah, well, and that's going to bring a trip here by pitching coach Rick Adair. And you're right, Wayne, because, you know, for the first 5 innings, very efficient. The pitch count was low. All of a sudden he comes out, and we talked about Kelly Johnson, a couple of rolling breaking balls, a fastball that, you know, stayed up, 2 more that were up above that, the leadoff walk, and mechanically right now he's not in sync. This is where the Rays need to jump on this opportunity. 2-0 count here. And Rick Adair, that's all he's trying to do. That's where a pitching coach, he knows each individual pitcher. He knows what the keys are. He's seen a good series of pitches here. He can go out there and say, hey, listen, you need to stay tall. You need whatever it is for each individual guy. Try to get him back on track.
And it's fouled outside of 3rd. Section rooting for the Rays offense to help David Price.
Probably not a big fan if you're sitting in the row behind him.
And it's down. So Hamill is behind Jennings 3-1, and we started to see some stirring in that bullpen down there for the Orioles. The left-hander Troy Patton get up, and it's foul out of play. Rays are going to get some further action going in their pen. Jake McGee has joined the veteran right-hander Jamie Wright.
No, you would figure Jamie Wright, if the team's behind Jake McGee, in case the Rays can explode here, tie the game up or take the lead.
And Jennings just got a little piece of that one, staying alive.
Well, that's part of what you were talking about, Dwayne, working at bats. Here with 2 strikes, look at this swing. Not a powerful swing, was fooled on the pitch, but he does enough to get a piece and buy himself another chance.
Runner goes, the ball hit on the ground, fair, off the glove of Machado. Down past the bullpen. Johnson's going to score the tying run, and Jennings in at second with the double. 2-2 ball game.
Now we talked about another chance by Desmond Jennings. He gets it. The ball's elevated. He gets on top of it. Machado, a great effort, but just off the tip of the glove, and then Kelly Johnson racing all the way around. Tie ball game.
But Johnson drew the walk, and Jennings had a great at bat. Now he's at second. Bold puts down a bunt. Hamill's going to have to go to first, and over to third goes Jennings.
And why not? Why not? You take a bunt there, maybe a bunt for a base hit. Worst case scenario, you move Desmond Jennings over to third, and you've got Ben Zobrist, Evan Longoria coming up. Now, what kind of pitchers are they going to see?
Well, Ben Zobrist up here, he is singled and homered. The Orioles pull the infield up in this tie game, 2-2 in the 6th. Fly ball center field. Jones back. He'll make the catch. This will get Jennings home, and the Rays take a 3-2 lead. Ben Zobrist with a sacrifice fly, and the Rays are out in front.
That was Buck Showalter showing confidence in Jason Hamill with his ability. He had a 64.5% ground ball rate last year. Bring the infield in. You hope for that good sinker. That ball stayed up. Ben Zobrist did his job, and he gives the Rays the lead.
So the leadoff walk and the double both have scored. Longoria takes a strike. So Zobrist on the day, a single, a home run, and a sacrifice fly. And in this inning, Jennings with a very impressive at bat to run the count to 3-2, and he got that little foul ball to stay alive and followed with a double up the left field line. Still a ball, 2 strikes. Zobrist, big part of this. The Rays with just 3 hits, 3 runs. Longoria, a tapper right side, and it's unassisted, handled by Davis. But the Rays, who are finished in the 6th inning, take the lead. The double by Jennings, trying to chasing home Johnson, and a sacrifice fly from Ben Zobrist, giving the Rays a 3-2 lead.
Rays have taken a 3-2 lead over the Baltimore Orioles, and I'll tell you what, David Price wasn't the cleanest game you're ever going to see him throw. He throws the changeup here, staying out over the plate. Matt Wieters hit it, 2-run home run. The Orioles take the lead, but then David went to work and really battled. Here getting a big double play, bases loaded, 1 out. Chris Davis, well, chopper to Yunel Escobar for the unassisted, and then he went to work, fastball in, moved the ball around, made pitches when he needed to, kept his offense in the game, and they have rewarded him by taking the lead as his day comes to an end.
So David Price, who was slated to make 100 pitches, made 100 pitches. And a great job of holding Baltimore after that 2-run first.
Turn it over to Jake McGee. You see his numbers from last year. ERA 1.95. How about the 73 strikeouts and 55 in the 3rd innings? Strong arm left-hander, big fastball, and it will jump on a hitter in a hurry.
Steve Pearce leads off against him. The first pitch. There's that fastball right out of the chute at 96.
And it's easy gas. He's pretty simple with his mechanics. The ball just jumps out of his hand. Very deceiving. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot of effort being put in.
It's pretty close right there. 97, 1-1. And so, as we discussed earlier, these two teams last year, superb bullpens. 1-run game as we enter the late stages of this one. And the Rays make the move to the pit. It's Loney out from first, and Fold comes in to save the day. Sam Fold in with a sliding catch. Loney backing out there. Appeared to be in position to make the catch, and suddenly here comes Sam.
Yeah, and a great play by Sam Fold. It looked like James Loney's. He's drifting back. He's going to make this catch, and then Sam Fold out of nowhere. I mean, he almost took that ball almost went right down the back of Loney's jersey. I'll tell you, tremendous concentration by Fold going down in traffic. Now he.
You know, as an infielder, you go out till you're called off.
Yeah.
I guess he heard Bull calling him off, and Sam made the sliding catch.
That's not how you would draw it up in the drills, but I'm going to tell you something right now. He would be my punt returner.
Roberts with the strike. Fastball. Wow.
Catch a ball in traffic like that, moving as far as he had to come. That wasn't too far off the infield dirt.
Yeah, heart palpitations and all. Right by Roberts. 0-2. So 6 innings for Price. He's the pitcher of record, leading 3-2.
You know, I think the one thing we have to remember too, you know, the Rays have been here at Tropicana Field the last couple of days, but James Loney, you know, coming over, not spending a whole lot of time here. He's got to get used to the roof here. Not easy. We've seen visiting teams come in and really struggle with pop-ups, fly balls. He's such a good defender. You know that roof doesn't come into play. He's probably got that one in his hip pocket easy.
It's a ball and 2 strikes. No problem for Sam.
I was going to say, he'll catch a ball anywhere at any time in any weather conditions.
Back to the middle. Into center. Roberts sends the fastball right back over the mound and through for a base hit. 1-out single.
And this is where you've got to keep an eye on Brian Roberts. Sneaky base runner, very good base runner, adept at taking the extra base, picking the right pitch to steal on. He will try to divide a pitcher's mind.
Well, Roberts did something that very few hitters from the right side did last year, and that's get a hit off McGee. They hit 098 against him last year. Now Markakis. One strike on the foul ball.
It's a testament to Jake McGee's explosive fastball, because you would think, I mean, let's be honest, Jake McGee comes in, you're going to see a steady diet of high velocity heaters. So you would think you would empty your bench to bring in every right-hander you could, and he very adept at handling them.
Strike. He's ahead of Markakis.
What are you going to do with that? Low ride at 98-mile-an-hour fastball left on left. Good luck.
Orioles have had runners on in every inning except the fifth. Markakis stays alive. One out with Roberts aboard. Foul back out of play. You get down 0-2 to McGee, you're just trying to survive in the batter's box.
Well, this is the case in point at bat. Markakis giving himself a little bit more room at the end of that bat, trying to put the ball in play.
Ball and 2 strikes.
I think that's something that you're going to see out of Buck Showalter. Nick Markakis, you know, not your prototypical leadoff hitter. But boy, the team was so successful with him in that position last year. He hit .345, had an on-base percentage of .390. The team was 33 and 21 with him in the leadoff spot. So they went on the run.
Up the middle, he bounces it through. So Markakis does indeed stay alive, and then some with a base hit, pushing Roberts to second.
Well, that was a tremendous at bat there by Markakis. You saw the little bit of a choke up. He's got the tape down at the end of the bat, but he was choked up even a little further than that, just trying to get the barrel to the baseball and put it in play. And that's all he did. Short little sweet swing, popped that ball right through the middle.
So with 2 on, 1 out, Manny Machado 1 for 3 today. A couple of at-bats last year against McGee, resulting in 2 strikeouts. He was victimized, Machado was, by Longoria in the 5th. That's when Evan made those 2 outstanding plays. 1 on Machado and 1 on Jones. And a strike. Action in the Rays bullpen. It's Peralta just starting to throw. Joel Peralta.
Joe trying to manage the game from here because he's gotten to the position that he wants, a lead late. The back end of his bullpen, which McGee, Peralta, Rodney try to push the right buttons here.
Good cut and a miss.
That almost looked like a BP fastball. Not really sure what that pitch was. He's trying to come in. Only 92 miles an hour. That ball leaks out over the plate. Machado takes a huge hack, but really came unglued mechanically and pulled right off that pitch. Puts Jake here in a good position, 0-2.
And he got him. Boy, that was nice, easy heat.
Wow.
0-2 fastball, 97.
And how tardy was Machado on the swing? He took 97 in an 0-2 count, took a little bit off the plate. Machado reaching and waving. No chance.
97 away and over and out. 2 gone with 2 runners aboard. And now the hitter will be Adam Jones. Jones has had a problem with McGee, 0 for 5, 3 Ks.
Well, he is a right-handed hitter. Joined the club.
Yep. They were 11 for 112 against McGee last year.
Impressive. Beyond impressive for a left-hander that's primarily fastball.
Jim Hickey will head to the mound.
Here's what's coming up on tomorrow on Rays Live, pregame show presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Have a feature on FanFest. Talk about Jeremy Hellickson and his Golden Glove. And I mean, who knows? It's early in the year. Nothing's really been established yet. I will be breaking down something. A potluck grab bag.
It's always better when it's a surprise.
Always.
Hickey heads back into the dugout where Joe Madden stands alongside Davey Martinez. And now Jones. Crucial spot in the 7th. Rays scored 2 in the 6th, taking a 3-2 lead. The Orioles with 2 men on, 2 men out in the 7th. Ball that catches Molina again,
and it caught him good. That was right off the chin, wobbled him.
Here's the sound of the game for you. John Hirschbeck asking if he knows what his phone number is.
I think Jose Molina asked Jake McGee, how many fingers am I holding up? He had it all the way backwards.
It's the second time today that Molina's taken a pretty good shot behind the plate. Oh, 0-1 to Adam Jones. 98. That is so nice and easy at 98.
It's very deceiving, and it has to be for the hitter because, again, Jake McGee is going to be about 90-95% fastball. You know it's coming. And boy, does it just jump on you. Jake McGee, how high is Adam Jones willing to go?
Into left center field. Joyce on the run. He can't get there. Tying run scores. Markakis heads to the plate. He's going to beat the throw. It's a double. An 0-2 double for Adam Jones. And now it's 4-3 Baltimore.
Well, I think what Jake McGee was trying to do right there is climb the ladder. Adam Jones had swung through the previous fastball right at the top of the strike zone. And this one does not quite get there. Not as high as he would have liked it, and Adam Jones jumps all over it. You see that ball right between the thighs and the belt.
So the Orioles answer with 2 in the 7th. And Wieters will be intentionally walked. So 3 hits, 2 runs in the inning, and now an intentional walk. Chris Davis on deck.
Sometimes that is such a difficult pitch to make, the fastball elevated on purpose, because as a pitcher you are programmed during the entire length of your career down in the zone, pound the ball down, work it down in the zone, and then all of a sudden you want to elevate on purpose. Not the easiest pitch to make, and any little miss sometimes can be capitalized by the offense.
Now Chris Davis and McGee. Davis 0 for 2 today and 0 for 3 lifetime against Jake McGee. All 3 punch-outs. And a high shot back into right. Bull looking up, and it's gone. Davis on the first pitch unloads a 3-run home run. And suddenly the Orioles have a very big inning. The 3-run home run makes it 7-3 Baltimore.
Right here, Jake McGee comes with a cutter, 91, 92 miles an hour, does not quite get to the glove. And anytime you see a catcher sitting up and having to reach back across the plate, bad things can happen. And it did right there for the Rays.
And Joe Madden makes that walk to the mound. Davis, who was the big home run guy last year for Baltimore, hits a big one here in the 7th inning. Time now for our Metro PCS call to the bullpen. Seventh inning, but a lot of baseball to go before we get to Rays Live, the postgame presented by Checkers, where BA will break down David Price's performance, Joe Madden's press conference, and Kelly Nash has interviews from the clubhouse. J.J. Hardy to face Jamie Wright. And the first pitch from the veteran right-hander is a strike. Fastball in around 90.
Jamie Wright, the non-roster invitee, coming in, earning a spot on the opening day roster. Got a penchant for keeping the ball on the ground. Good sinker.
And a couple strikes here to the Baltimore shortstop.
Last year, 66 appearances. 67 2/3 innings, 54 strikeouts, tons of ground balls.
And there's a ground ball to third. Evans' throw is in time, and that retires J.J. Hardy and Baltimore. But the Orioles score 5. A double by Jones driving in 2. And then Chris Davis unloaded the 3-run home run. So it's 7th inning stretch time. 7-3 Baltimore over the Rays, and now B.K. Jackson. And God bless America. Again, we salute those watching on the Armed Forces Network in 175 countries and ships at sea, watching around the world in Iraq, Germany, Italy, Southwest Asia, South Korea, and Japan. We welcome you and send to you our undying gratitude. Troy Patton takes over for the right-hander Jason Hamill. And Ryan Roberts will pinch hit. Roberts hitting for Joyce. Joyce was 0 for 2, and it's a 1-0 count here to Roberts. Catches the edge. 1-1.
Well, the chess match begins. Patton in. Roberts pinch hitting. Rays looking to claw their way back into this game.
Two.
That's something you'll see an awful lot of from Ryan Roberts early in the count until he gets to 2 strikes, and sometimes even with 2 strikes he takes a healthy hack looking to drive the ball.
Flares it up the right side, foul in the direction of the bullpen. Escobar is next. Only due to hit third. 6 innings for Hamill. He gave up 3 runs, 3 hits. Struck out a couple, walked 1. Zobrist got him for a home run. And now he leaves in favor of the lefty. Batten was in 54 games last year for Baltimore. Out of their bullpen all with an earned run average of 243. A broken bat looper, and there's a base hit. Leadoff single, pinch hit, base hit for Ryan Roberts.
Yeah, that's what the Rays need. Base runners. You're down 4. You're not going to be able to get it all in one swing. Roberts does a nice job of getting that ball into center field for a leadoff hit.
Now Yunel Escobar. Twice Escobar is grounded out to the third baseman Machado. Shelley Duncan has moved out to the on-deck circle. So the move to the bench here with a left-hander in the game. Strike to Escobar. It's Darren O'Day. Been tough on right-handed hitters. Actually, he's been tough on both righties and lefties. You can see how he might be tough against right-handers with that delivery. Popped up short right center, carrying out to the center fielder Jones. That's the first out. Shelley Duncan, who was ticketed for Durham, but when the Rays disabled Luke Scott, that opened a spot with some shuffling to get Duncan on the 40-man. Duncan now with the Rays and pinch hitting here against the lefty Patton.
Well, that was the question. How long did you figure that Luke Scott would need? Who were you going to make the move for? When they decided to go with Shelley Duncan, they did it with the idea that in these kind of situations, he gives you that threat of pop off the bench from the right side, can hit home runs, gap power. It's an extra weapon for Joe Madden, using exactly these types of situations.
Duncan announced, and Buck Showalter pops out of the Baltimore dugout. Both these managers, Madden and Showalter, play all the angles. And if there's a percentage advantage to be gotten, they'll figure it out.
Now, we talked about it. Having been around Joe Madden, having had the opportunity to play for Buck Showalter, they leave no stone unturned. They are two of the most prepared managers you will ever see coming into a series and into a game. And here's the late call.
Call to the bullpen. Brought to you by Metro PCS.
inning lead at 7-3. Time now to check in on our Twitter poll of the day. We'll have the results for you on our Rays Live postgame show presented by Checkers. And basically, it is this. Where do you think the Rays are going to end up in 2013? Hashtag TB1 if you think they're going to win the division. Hashtag TB2, a wild card team. Hashtag TB3, over 500 but missed the playoffs. Hashtag TB4 for under 500. Tweet your votes to @SunSportsRays, guys.
All right, Todd, thank you. Darren O'Day on the hill. And Shelley Duncan hits in the place of James Loney. And O'Day, a big part of the Orioles' success out of their bullpen a year ago. You see he's in 69 games. And opponents, both lefties and righties, were just around that 200 mark against him.
Comes from down under, fastball slider.
Pop fly short right for Markakis. It's the second out. Roberts still at first. Jose Molina. Molina does have a career home run off O'Day. 0 for 2 in this game with a ground out to short. Pop to second. Pitch just moves away and away and away, sliding right away, well off the end of the bat.
You figure from a right-handed hitter, first of all, the pitch looks like it's coming out of his hand behind you, and then when it's that sweeping breaking ball, boy, it covers a lot of ground, tracking away.
And again out there. Good luck.
So hard to judge. Yeah, I mean, how far is it going to go? Where you see it out of the hand, like I said, behind you, and it just starts to sweep.
And he got him on 3 pitches. Strikes him out. The Rays leave a man. 7-3 Baltimore. Welcome back to opening day from Tropicana Field. Brian Anderson, Dwayne Stats, Todd Callis with us as well. Kelly Nash. Changes defensively for the Rays. Shelley Duncan will stay on to play first. Ryan Roberts now at second base. Ben Zobrist started there. Sam Fold is in left as Joyce was lifted. And with Fold moving from right field, Vince Zobrist is now playing right. Jamie Wright on the hill, and the first pitch to Nolan Reimold is a ball inside, 1-0. There's Ben out there at right field. Unless you're about 2 or 3 guys, if you're going to play on the Rays, you're going to need more than one glove, as demonstrated by all of those changes.
And bring them all every day.
Yep. Liner into left, falling in front of Sam Fuld. Reimold has his second hit of the game.
Sam Fuld had an idea maybe to go after that, try to pick that ball off the turf, but wisely held up, played it off the bounce, lived to fight another day. It's the one thing that Jamie Wright can give you. Tall, lanky, working that ball downhill with good sink. He's able to maybe get you that ground ball, get a 2-for-1 here.
Here's Steve Pearce, the designated hitter. Strike one.
Well, there was a good shot of the fastball, that late sink that Jamie can get on it. That ball just diving beneath the bat of Pearce.
Runner takes off. The ball lifted into deep right center. Slicing. Jennings on the run. He got it. Desmond Jennings runs it down on the track. Reimold heads back to first. That had some severe slice toward right center.
Well, Pearce, a strong guy. You got slice, you got carry, and then the ground that Desmond covers. His head never left that ball. Continued to track it right into the glove.
And that quietly is an outstanding play by a center fielder. And we're going to see a lot of those from Jennings. He may not make spectacular plays because he gets a good jump and runs a great route. They don't have to be spectacular. He's just that good. One strike the count. Looper towards center. Here comes Jennings. That's going to drop for a base hit. Reimold advances to second.
Well, Brian Roberts once again just a pest. Didn't hit that ball hard, but he's able to drop it into center field, keep this inning going for the Orioles.
Yeah, if Longoria had made a very good play on him in the fourth, he could be 3 for 4 today. Here we are in the 8th. It's 7-3 Baltimore. Our Toyota trend. You can see how tough the Orioles were last year after the 7th with that great bullpen.
Is that good? 74-0 in anything at any time. Well, that's why, you know, and we talked about it. That's why Joe Madden looking around this division, understanding, you know, there's a lot of good bullpens, a lot of good back ends of bullpens. You got to jump out early, because if the other team's able to shorten the game, you're in big trouble.
Top of the order, Nick Markakis. 1-0. Well, David Price worked the front 6, gave up 2 runs, made 100 pitches. McGee 2/3, charged with 5 of the 7 runs. It's 1-1. Cesar Ramos busy in the bullpen. Opposite field. Gold is there to make the catch, and the runners retreat to their respective bases.
Nice little recovery there by Sam Fuld. Got turned around a little bit on that ball off the bat of Markakis. You start to see an outfielder go after a ball like that, those base runners get a little antsy, maybe looking to take that extra bag.
Manny Machado. Breaking ball, it stayed in. 1-0. On the right side, the Rays bullpen, and that's one hop and out of play. Rays with a couple shots left. They're trying to hold the Orioles here in the 8th inning. Tomorrow night it'll be Jeremy Hellickson on the hill for the Rays. Two balls and a strike. Ramos readies himself in the bullpen. Big cut. 2-2.
Add and subtract. Jamie Wright there with the curveball in the mid-70s. Machado way over the top and out in front.
The ball loose from Molina, but no attempt to advance. Reimold holds at second. Roberts down there at first. Jamie Wright started his career back in '93 in the Rockies organization. Got to the big leagues in '96 with the Rockies. Two outs, 2 men on. 3-2 the count. Runners go. The pitch is foul. We'll do it again. Machado is 20 years old. He'll be 21 in the middle of the summer. Wright was 21 when he broke in with the Rockies. 3-2 again. Skipping away from Molina. That's going to load the bases, and Wright down to cover the plate just in case. The bases are going to be loaded on ball 4.
That gets Adam Jones to the plate here with the bases loaded. Jim Hickey on the phone.
And Jones has some pretty good numbers in his matchups with Wright. 3 out of 9 with a home run. He's 3 for 4 in this game and denied a hit on a great play by Longoria in the 5th inning. Breaking ball misses. One ball, no strikes. Liner into left, and it's caught by Sam Fuld, who comes charging in to make a sliding grab. The Orioles leave him loaded. Nice defensive work by Cole and left. 7-3 Baltimore.
Trailing the Orioles 7-3. Here's a look at tomorrow night's pitching matchup, brought to you by Chevron. It's going to feature that man right there from the Rays side of things, Jeremy Hellickson. He will be going up against Wei Yin Chen, the left-hander from the Baltimore Orioles. See the season numbers from last year. Should be another good one.
Well, the Rays have 2 shots remaining. They're down by 4. Kelly Johnson will face Darren O'Day. The first pitch is a strike around the knees. Jennings next, and then Poole. Day came on in the 7th and got Shelley Duncan and Jose Molina. It's 1-2. Big shift on again for Kelly Johnson. In one hop into short right, and the throw from right field is in time. So out of the shift, Machado throws out Kelly Johnson.
Now that's precisely the reason for it. Machado deep out there. This ball rocketed by Kelly Johnson, but you see ranging to his right, one hop, got a step. Now you got to put something on the throw, because it's a long throw, and Kelly Johnson hustling down the line but not able to get there.
Desmond Jennings. Strike the count to Desmond, who doubled in a run and scored in the 6th. Hamill and McGee would be the pitchers of record right now. Desmond lines one off the glove of Hardy and has himself a base hit.
Well, look,
Desmond, some great at-bats today.
Yes, he has. I mean, very good at-bats. There he's able to get the line drive out of the reach of J.J. Hardy. Looked like J.J. mistimed his jump just by a hair. Desmond trying to pull the hands in close to the body. There goes Hardy, and just off the thumb.
Well, here's Sam. 1 on, 1 out. Machado in close at third. The breaking pitch is a strike. The 1-2 punch late for Baltimore. Strop and Johnson. They shut down the games in the 8th and 9th innings last year. O'Day picks up a strike. Strop up in the bullpen right now.
It seems to have that successful back end of the bullpen. It's like a three-pronged attack. You got your two setup guys for different situations. Sometimes it's a righty-lefty thing, like with the Rays, Peralta and McGee. With the Orioles, you've got O'Day, coming from down under, Strop, the power guy, before you turn it over to the closer. That makes it extremely difficult because they can share outs in the 8th inning to get it to the closer. They could each take an inning themselves and close out 7, 8, 9. That's what you talk about when you talk about shortening the game.
And it certainly magnifies everything else that takes place early in games. That's why if you can't make mistakes, you can't miss signs, you can't get picked off. You got to do things right early and then close people out.
Well, you got to lock it in from the opening pitch, not try as much as you can to settle into the game. You got to come out guns blazing. And you're right, every little thing will come up as far as some of the instances that you just described, getting picked off, making smart plays. Everything becomes magnified.
The other way, out of play. Pitch wide, the runner going, and the throw goes into center field. Desmond's going to go to third. He'll have a steal. An error on the throw. The count is full to Sam Fuld.
Well, the Rays trying to get something going, specifically Desmond Jennings. He is off to the races. Wieters knows he has to hurry. Hurries the throw. Wasn't accurate. It skipped out into center field, and Jennings able to get to third base.
Ground ball headed out to Roberts. Run scores. The Rays get their 4th run as Fuld gets credit for the RBI. 2 gone with the bases empty, and now it's a 3-run game. a single, home run, and a sacrifice fly. 1-0. Rays play the Orioles tomorrow night, Thursday afternoon. Then the Cleveland Indians are in starting Friday night. Shallow right field. Markakis. And the Rays are finished in the 8th. They score once. 7-4 Baltimore. Ball on Sun Sports is brought to you by Chevrolet. See your local Tampa Chevy dealer. Just for Men Auto Stop is foolproof. Gray is over. And by Navy Federal Credit Union. 4 million members, 4 million stories. The story on this game, we go to the 9th inning. Baltimore with a 5-run 7th, leading 7-4. Cesar Ramos, pitcher number 4 for the Rays, to face Baltimore.
See what he was able to do last season here with the Rays. Tell you what, Cesar Ramos really made some strides last year, as evidenced by those numbers and his ability to really command that arm side fastball.
Pitch to Wieters is wide. The Rays feel that he's the guy who could give them an added dimension in the bullpen. A lefty who they would feel comfortable against lefties or righties, so they could spot him in those situations, or they could extend them and get some innings out of him.
That's exactly. I was going to say that, Dwayne. You can feel comfortable. He's, you know, a guy who can be stretched out, so he's got to be able to pitch against lefties and righties. And you're right, he gives them length, gives them innings. He really started to turn the corner was with the fastball command. You see a couple of good ones here to Matt Wieters in. And he's one of the left-handers that really is able to drive that ball in on lefties also. Sometimes lefties shy away from that.
2-2 now to Wieters. A 7-4 score. An interesting score in that these two teams last year were among the top 3 in the American League when it came to wins, when they scored 4 or more runs. It's almost as if whoever gets to 4 first wins. Another great stop at third, and Longoria throws him out again. Boy, Evan Longoria well on his way already to another Gold Glove, and he's made some outstanding plays today.
Can you talk about a favorite in the Gold Glove race already? I mean, what he's done today. Another dive, knocks it down, but boy, so quick to find it with the. Look at that. That ball rolls right up his forearm. Takes it right off his forehand, throws it. And then, you know what? Nice footwork by Shelley Duncan over there at first base, having to go behind the bag. Let this ball travel. You got the runner coming. Maintain your concentration. Finish it off.
Pitch to Davis. Too low. You're right. Play on both corners of the infield there. That's at least 4 outstanding plays by Longoria today. And the short right, backhanded, and Roberts gets it back to first in time to get Davis. So 2 outs.
Well, all Sundays throughout the season are Family Fun Days presented by the Tampa Bay Times. And on Sunday, April the 7th, kids 14 and under will receive an Evan Longoria wall cling presented by Matchup Promotions while supplies last.
J.J. Hardy. Strike call. Hardy's hit was a double in the 4th. Up the left field line. Bryce McGee right. Now Ramos. It's a foul ball. Two and two. Hardy out on strikes, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. Well, that had some nice finish to it. Bottom of the 9th, Rays need 3 to tie, 4 to win.
Of the Tampa Bay Rays and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Tampa Bay Rays.
Well, the Rays need 3. They're down 7-4, and Evan Longoria is going to lead it off. Jim Johnson, the closer supreme for the Orioles a year ago. Well, these two closers here, Johnson and Fernando Rodney, just some gaudy numbers. And here's Evan against Johnson. Strike one.
Well, Jim Johnson, not the kind of closer that's going to come in and strike out a batter and a half an inning. Less strikeouts than innings pitched by a pretty substantial margin. Boy, does he get good downward action.
That's going to be in there, a base hit. Couple of hops into left. And Longoria fighting it off, has a base hit.
Yeah, strong. Evan Longoria has a very strong swing. That ball rode in on him. Just ball takeoff in, but Evan just able to get the hands through, fight that pitch into left field. Base runners.
Yeah, that pitch might break a bat in the hands of another hitter. Ryan Roberts fouls it.
Well, they're right there. That was the same pitch.
That either breaks your bat or your foot.
Yeah, I'm telling you. It's that late movement, and as you adjust to try to get the barrel to the ball, I wonder how many times Jim Johnson gets a guy to foul it off. That was the back foot. Most of the time it's that front foot.
Strike two. One and two. The Rays have one man on. The American League save leader breakdown a year ago. Jim Johnson, Fernando Rodney, Rafael Soriano third. And a strike called at the knees.
Well, some nifty pitching there by Johnson. Gets ahead 0-2, comes with a couple of sinkers down and in. Count evens up at 2 and then goes right back away, right at the bottom of the zone. Boy, tough pitch. Sometimes you just tip your cap to the pitcher. Not a whole lot you're going to be able to do with that.
Now Yunel Escobar. Escobar twice is grounded out. Fly ball went to center field in the 7th inning. Campbell worked the front 6. Price worked the front 6 for the Rays. Joey Patton the 3rd of an inning, and Darren O'Day in an inning and 2/3 for Baltimore. Now Johnson. Two and 1.
Boy, that was a swing right there by Escobar to pull the Rays within 1. He was trying to leave a 2-0 count in his favor. Boy, he is really going after that pitch, but that late sink takes it right below the swing.
That will move the count to 2-2. Yeah, that late sink is what makes Johnson so good.
And he's coming from such a good angle, too. It's one thing to have a nice sinker, but when you're doing it from a tall, lanky frame and driving the ball downhill, that ball just disappears on you. That's why so many guys just pound it right into the ground, catch the top half of the baseball.
Shot the corner there, and now it's a miss on that attempt. 3-2. So Duncan on deck. Ground ball, shortstop. Hardy tosses to Roberts over to first. 6-4-3. So Escobar grounds into the double play, and that ends this game for the Rays in the 9th inning. A hit, nobody left, and the Baltimore Orioles take the first game of the 2013 season here, spoiling the Rays opener. It's a 7-4 final. Hamill will get the win, and McGee will suffer the loss. Johnson will get the save as the Orioles take the first game of this 3-game series. They did it with 5 runs in the 7th inning. David Price working the front 6. McGee right, and Ramos followed. Hamill, Patton, O'Day, and Johnson. Johnson closing it out for Baltimore. Same 2 teams tomorrow. We'll be with you at 6:30 in high definition on Sun Sports for the middle game of this series. Stay with us now for Rays Live, the post game presented by Checkers. Brian Anderson, Todd Callis, Kelly Nash, and Rustis Destrada. Dwayne Stats. Hope you've enjoyed the telecast about the outcome. 7-4 Baltimore. See you on the post game.